Just from your perspective, you've been here a few times where pressure comes to the club, the expectations are high. How do you handle this time as a captain after a performance like that when there is so much feedback from external?
Yeah, it's I've probably got a bit of experience in this position, but it's like any bit of adversity. I feel like you learn a lot about yourself and people around you, and I feel like Moss's summed up perfectly his presser. Times like this, it's actually time to come together, be really united, and we will find out a bit about us in the next little bit, and that excites me. But I couldn't be more along with what he said about club-wide being united and sticking together. So that would be my main message today.
What is going on at the moment?
I think at the moment there's definitely lapses in game consistency. I feel like overall, if you look at the year, the effort of the group's been there. I don't think you can question that. But it's probably moments in game to let us down. So that's what we're working to address. There's no quick solution to fix it. But as leaders, it's really important we stand up in these moments. So that's a clear focus.
Your fans are some of the most passionate in the Colt. Has there been a bit of an overreaction, do you feel?
Well, I don't want to divide us versus the fans. I feel like it's really important we stay together. It's when times are tough, it's the most important time to stay together and stay united. And for a lot of years now, we've had that strong move together sort of mindset. And, it's easy to do that when we're winning. It's bloody hard to do it when you have some tough losses. So my message will be the same. We're sticking fat together. Sort of bind in and really get behind us, and we'll turn it around. It's going to take a lot of work and a lot of effort, but we're going to stay united.
I feel like you should be further ahead in development though. Vossi sort of spoke that on the weekend, that it's not a team that's should be building, it's a team that should be ready to contend now.
Yeah, without a doubt, but at the same time, when does life always go to plan? It's not linear, so I've never had a year where it's all gone to plan, and it's been smooth sailing. Even the year that we did get on a run, we were 4-8 at one stage. So you just got to stick together. You'll find a way through it, and if we knew the outcome, the whole journey wouldn't be that fun. So don't get me wrong, I don't want to be in this position, but also realistic that we'll find our way out of it.
Do you have faith that his message is still resonating with the group?
Yeah, I couldn't speak highly enough of Vossi as a coach, also as a mentor and a friend. He puts a lot of work in, along with the whole coaches. That group's very aligned, so we're in it together. We're not going to point fingers, we're not going to point blame, anyone else. We're going to take complete ownership, and especially as players, it's really important we take ownership now. He's done a great job for us for a long time now, and I feel like as players we need to aim up a bit now.
5-day turnaround, is that in a way a good thing? You get to come out and hopefully make him in straight away?
Yeah, there's not too many times you'll have a 5-day break. We're pretty excited it's a 5-day this week, so we'll get over to Adelaide, good chance to get away together, unite, stick together and move on.
Hello and welcome to the Blue Abroad Show. Here on this Monday, the 23rd of June, 2025. I don't think this will take long. That was obviously Patrick Cripps, and those were his words earlier today. We are here after round 15. We've just finished the ratings. The show tonight, I don't think it's going to go long. I know I said that last time when it went for long. I will put the link in the chat if anybody wants to come on and join. I don't have a guest. I don't have much more to say about Carlton. I'm all Carltoned out, if I'm being honest. The fan cams were great. Did the ratings with Pommy just now. I was also on the Prendercast last night. So you'll be able to check that out with them. But always down to talk to anybody that tunes into the show. And yeah, I think, we just continue to just go down this interesting path as a supporter base, trying to strike the balance between how much to care, how much of a conclusion to draw. I think my biggest question at this point is how to best navigate moving forward and how to be part of the solution, not the problem. It's going to be really difficult to do that when I don't know what the problem is. I've had a lot of frustration and anger, which is just turned into just an unhealthy emotion about something that's out of, my control and out of our control. And I just at the end of the day, I said this last week. I mean, we choose how we feel about things. It's, it's not just a matter of, if this happens, I'll be happy. It's like, no, you choose if you want to be happy or not. Like, I'm not happy with what's happening at the Carlton Football Club, but the reality is we've got 9 more weeks of whatever's to come. I said it in the ratings just now. Like, it can't get worse, can it? Well, it can. It absolutely can. So did a video earlier today just documenting Cripper's words there. We'll get some of your thoughts on that shortly. And as I said, and I actually reached out to the club and offered them a link to the show. And you know what? I'll continue to do that. So if anybody at any point from the Carlton Football Club would like to come on and speak to the fans directly with no journos, just like no bullshit, just straight talk. And if you're ready to do that, I am absolutely ready to speak to anyone and identify what the problem is. And I mean, there's talk about buy-in. I mean, that's fine. But I think we need to see something to buy into. I mean, we are already bought in. We bought our memberships. We elected. We bought into 2025, and we've bought in for a long time. And so, yeah, it seems like we're just continuing to pay off this generational debt. Like this debt from the previous generation. That's my perception of things at the moment. I continue to hear that on the field, it's all about process. But then off the field, all I hear are the outcomes. I see like a brotherhood at other clubs. And I see the Carlton clique at our club. And there's a select few that are a part of the Carlton clique. And they're seemingly untouchable in the way that they move, in the way that they speak, in the way that they present. I see leaders of the football club that can either only wear a suit, when in the reality, to be a leader of this club, you've got to be able to wear a suit and a hoodie. You have to be able to do both. You have to be able to speak both. And yeah, try not to repeat myself. So I found a tweet earlier today from M, which was awesome. There were 2 quotes that M put in her tweet. The first one was from a quote from Brian Cook on the 22nd of November, 2021, when he took over. And he said, "It's what you do, not what you say. The members won't judge us until they see how we perform on and off the field." And then on the 15th of May, 2022, Brian Cook said, "If you are talking about myself or Vossi, we are 8 games into a 75-game contract. That's the way I am looking at it. We've been here for 6 months and we have a long way to go. I hope we are at our absolute best during that period in our 75th game. That's the peak." Thought that was very interesting. All right. I've got 2 people here in the waiting room. I'll speak to you. Hello, Christian.
Hey mate, how you doing?
A bit cooked. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'm all Carltoned out.
Yeah, I thought, MCG game against North, that'll be a nice way to just sort of break up the weekend a bit. I'll get down to that, and yeah, it was not what I needed at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? How do you package everything up for the rest of the season? Like, how do you get to the week to week, game to game?
Yeah, it's just that's the problem. It feels like there's so little to play for now because, I mean, finals are probably still mathematically possible, but I mean, come on, we're not going to kid ourselves, are we? So, but then,
No, we are not.
no, we're not.
No, we are not.
No. But what are we playing for, man? We're not playing for a first round pick. That's going to go to Hawthorn. I guess maybe it's a chance to look and see who on the field is actually willing to try and change something. You know, like show that they're here for the long haul, show that they're a part of the journey to solving the problem. But yeah, I don't know. It feels like the next few weeks are just going to be an absolute slug to get through because we're going to
Well,
be tuning into the game and going, well, what are we trying to do? What are we trying to achieve here by winning?
there was
Yeah.
I think Dwayne Russell maybe 10 to 12 years ago. I don't know why I remember this. I think he was commentating a Port Adelaide game, and the quote just hit me. I remember him saying, "Forget about finals. What about pride?" And it was in reference to like they can't play finals, or maybe they weren't going well. And I think that's maybe speaking to something that the Blues have got to try and find. Like, because okay, if it's not about finals and it's not about draft picks and the position that we're going to be in the draft, given that Hawthorn have our first pick, then what is it about? And I guess maybe pride, maybe the future, who's going to be here for the long haul. Like,
Yeah.
that's when you get supporters buying in when they see pride in the Guernsey, I would have thought.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. Which you touched on the players. This is the thing that I've been having this argument with myself and other people that I talk to about sort of there's almost this disagreement in the fan base about where the problems lie, in the sense
Yeah.
that I talk to some people and they'll say that, you know, the coaching's the problem, the game plan's the problem. But then you talk to other people and they'll say they'll say the opposite. They'll say the players on the field are the problem. They've been through this many coaches. There's no buy-in, and it's really conflicting because you watch the ratings show and you see some of the coaching decisions and you go, what are they doing? But then you look at some of the numbers that the games are dishing up and you see things like we're winning contested ball, we win inside 50s, and so there's an argument to be made that maybe if we were more efficient, but then it feels like what do you make of it? I feel like it's hard to point to one of those things. It almost feels like the answer's somewhere in the middle, that both are the problem.
I think we're
Yeah,
going to do our heads in trying to identify what the problem is when there's probably a lot of problems. At some point, the players just have to grow the fuck up. No,
yeah,
like I mean, I
no,
know they're not.
absolutely.
I know that they are not coached to get the best out of them, and it's clearly not getting the best out of them the way they're coached.
Mm. And
And
so that's the
sometimes,
problem we run into, isn't it? Because you go,
yeah,
well, clearly the coaching and the game plan's not right, but then at what point is it also on the players to execute? Because there's clearly some elements of the game plan that work. Because again, when you're winning, like I don't like to I don't want to go back, because I know a few people have a few coaches have been mocked for bringing up winning the inside 50 count in a losing game, but you can't win the inside 50 count by accident. That's very hard to do.
no,
So
you
there has
can't.
to be something working.
Well, at
But
the end of the day, there can be no
yeah,
moving on from anything until the real problem is addressed.
yeah,
So, like, we'll hear the words lapses in consistency as the problem. Now, that they are obviously not going to say exactly what the problem is on camera. It would be nice if they did, but I don't think they will. Only they know what the issue is, and only they know what the solution is, and only they can fix it. So
yeah,
that's
no,
why I found the call to the arms for the fans and the buy-in. I found that interesting. And I mean, at the end of the day, he was asked the question about, do you think the fans are overreacting? Which I don't know who that journo was, but I'd like to get his name.
yeah.
So, mate, it's everything and everyone.
Yeah, and I mean, even those press conferences are the problem because, I mean, and they did this for like the first half of the year. I'm glad they've stopped it, but after the losses, they go into the dressing room and they put a camera in front of one of the players and, you know, like, oh, Jack, like, after the Richmond game, like, oh, you know, like, where to from here? And Jack has to sit there and go, like, oh, you know, it's disappointing, but I'm sure that, you know, we'll work it out, we'll figure it. And so you just know that the players aren't saying what they actually think. I think that's a pretty reasonable thing to say at the moment. I would be stunned if that's actually how Patrick Cripps feels about the situation. And I would be stunned if that's how Jacob Wiedering feels about it. I know that they spoke to him as well today. And so I guess that's
It's the
the other
way for
problem.
it's the way that you set yourself free, even in life, until you
Yeah.
can identify what your own problems are with yourself and be honest with yourself about what they are. only then can you actually do something about, like, admitting the problem is the first step in order
Yeah,
to then
absolutely. And I mean, I'm
rectify it.
like, it's a bit of an outlier, but look after the Collingwood game where Wiedering mentioned the mental fragility, and then they came out and won the next 3 games. So there's a bit in that. Obviously, it didn't last, but no, yeah, you're right. There's a bit in that in the terms of when they actually admit what the problem is, they're able to work through it, and they've done it before. Like the whole Kerno camp thing that seemed again. I remember I think Wiedering went up to Luke Sayers at the time and said something about it's on the onus is on the players for the way that the results are panning out, and again they were able to turn it around. So there's definitely merit in what you're saying, but I guess the question is, why do we keep coming back to this point where we're saying to them, well, be honest and fix it, because you've done it before, but why do we end up in a cycle where we come back to it?
Yeah, it does feel like a cycle. Did you see? Well, you were around in 2021, right?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Oh, dude, my review of the North game in 2021 is
Uh,
wild.
yeah.
What I was saying then, it's the same thing. Like,
Yeah. I guess it could have been worse, Terry. We could have seen Jacob Wiedering thrown to full forward again because Charlie wasn't having the
true.
best game.
Oh, dude,
God.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Honestly, Matt,
it's
I don't know. It's
yeah,
yeah,
it's tough. I guess the only thing I will say before I let you move on to the next person is I
yeah,
would encourage the fans to be kind to each other, because I think the worst thing we can do is start turning on each other. And I know that there's a lot of different opinions out there. A lot of different people think things. You can disagree with that opinion, but there's no need to don't be nasty to each other. Don't turn on each
yeah.
other. Don't, because honestly, I think that's how the club sort of wins, if they're able to make us into the problem, and that's how we become the problem if we're sticking it to each other on socials or at games or whatever. Just if you
Fucking
just yeah
amen to that. That is
yeah
100% spot on.
yeah no,
There's
if you disagree with someone, either just say that's okay, I disagree, and move on, or just leave it. Just don't be nasty to each other. We're all on the same team here. We all have ideas of how to fix it. We all have diagnosis. But at the end of the day, we're all on the same side, regardless of what the direction that the club goes in. So,
yeah, it's
yeah,
a
I
good
think I'll
reminder.
leave it. Yeah, I'll leave it on that for you. So,
Thanks, mate. Have a good night.
no worries at all, you too.
All right. Jeff is in Thailand in a pool. Hello, Jeff.
How are you, mate? How are you, chat? Blue
Oh, good,
baggers?
mate.
All
How are
good?
you?
Very good. Very good. No, the rhetoric is a little bit going round in circles, I think. And
Yeah.
what I think the football club needs to do is segregate the football department from the actual corporate crap that's going on. It's easy to see when Vossi does a press conference how he's got a PR person. It's scripted. It's almost written before the bloody end of the game, All we're getting is word salad. Cripper's thing was word salad, just, PR again. I think if someone in there can grab the whole football department and just separate it from the corporate club just for the rest of the year and say, okay, you all know, you've all been through your football life, you know what to do. And we're throwing you in all different angles and injuries and people and different skills. I think they need to get the specific players back into their original positions. The year has gone. It's finished. You're dreaming if they're going to play finals. And if they do, they'll drop out like last year. Get the young blokes in. Look at the forward line. It was nothing until McGovern kicked a few goals in the last quarter. Get Lemmy in. Get all these guys in. Get the main players playing in their main positions. Get the coaches to focus on specific, basic game plan. Like, just go back to basic football and let them play. So have a go, boys. Have a run. Run the ball. Give it to each other. Back each other up. Don't worry about the result. Just let the skill do the work and it'll happen. I think that's where they need to go back to, honestly.
Do you think if we start, do you think by doing that fans will buy into that?
Correct, because the fans want to see the young blood coming through and they need to see a change.
Yeah.
I'm only excited every week to see the new younger players come in. Like to take Cooper Ward off. What was that? Seriously. Like, come on. Poor old Akers is playing with an injury. Get them back into their original positions. Just get some really basic stuff happening, and run the young guys through, and do it for 3 or 4 weeks. Burn the games. Don't worry about it. But you've got to get games into these new guys. Otherwise, what are you going to do? Everyone wants to sell this bloke, sell that bloke, and you've got to... Ashton Moyer, chuck him in the deep end. Say, here's your chance, son. Have a crack. Lemmy's got forward craft. He runs the back guys around, then runs back and takes marks. What happens is they dump the ball in, it goes to ground, there's no one there, and it gets rebounded out. There's players making leads around the 50-metre arc and inside the 50-metre arc, and they're not hitting them. They're still dumping it in. To me, I didn't see the forward line exist. What forward line on the weekend?
Well, kicked 19 points in the first half, mate. It was a fucking shocking day.
And these guys, I can kick a footy fucking maggoted blindfolded with my left foot backwards. I can kick better than most of those blokes. I can kick barrels, mate, straight barrels, 60 metres, not a problem. They don't know how to do it.
Yeah. You ready for Thursday night?
There's hope there. They need a coordinator to coordinate everyone together and get it right. Something's wrong. There's something blocking something. It's hard to work out. But
it's harder because we don't know what's going on the inside and the conversations, and who didn't get sleep last night, and all the little things that add up. And I mean, there's a few unknowns with certain players and where they're at, and then there's like this air of change that is coming from the top, and it's just so uncertain and unstable everywhere because no one knows what's the direction of. Well, no one knows what the direction of the club is because it's going to change.
And get games into these young guys. Just get them through, and give some of the older guys that have got injuries. Like, look, Adam Saad's been a great stalwart for us, but he's too slow and he's fumbly.
Yeah.
Motlock's good, but he just falls over and fumbles the ball all the time. And Cripper used to do the big handballs out of those melees and clear the ball. That's not happening anymore. There's no system to what they're doing. And North they brutalised us in the second and third quarter. They put the shoulder in, and good on them. Yeah. And that's...
You there?
If we all get cranky and we stop going to games and drop memberships off, that'd be a hell of a damn shame. Because I think the cattle are there, and I think the unity's there. They just need to turn it on and believe, and that's all we can do. But honestly, we've got to stick by them, though. It's all, we've got to stick by them and see what happens. Make the decision at the end of the year, whatever you do, and then
use this time wisely to get all the information that you need to make sure that you make the right calls. Good stuff. But love it.
They need given a fair go, these young guys. They've got them in there. They've had them in there for 2 or 3 years. They're wasting. You've got to develop them. The development's a worry. But anyway, keep the chin up. Keep going. Doing a great job, you and Pom, Terry. The jumper punch and all that.
Appreciate it.
Don't get back. They'll be back. They'll get there.
See you, mate. Chris.
Hey, mate. How are you?
I am good. How are you?
I'm very good, mate. You don't seem that good, but it's all right. We'll try to cheer you up.
Yeah.
I just want to just talk about the fans' frustration, and I feel like we get a bad rap a lot. We're in a really hard spot. I think everybody, as a fan, we're all obviously emotional, and I feel like it feels like there's one problem pops up and then another one pops up. It's like wherever you look, there's another issue, and it's like I get people, find it easy to, find the scapegoat or find one issue with it. But I think the frustrating part is there's so many things going wrong that it makes it, it's just frustrating, And I think I think we've all got our own answer for it, but I think it's as a lot of people said, I think it's a whole collective of culture, and there's obviously people above it that we don't know about that control a lot of that. But you know, I think just trying to like scapegoat somebody that's, you know, like, I'm not saying like, you know, like they're all doing like their jobs well, like Boss is doing well or the players are doing well. Like they all have to own a part of it, and it's a whole collective. I think that they're all, you know, failing in their own ways. Not all of them at everything, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. It's yeah. I think the more you talk about it, the more crazy you go. Like, there's truth to maybe a few things. There's truth to the fact that the group is a little bit entitled in the way that they carry themselves, a little bit full of themselves, the way they carry themselves as well. There's truth to mediocre people being in roles to run this club. I mean, at the end of the day, the club's run by humans. Humans are flawed. Therefore, the club's going to be flawed. But I think you just have a scary amount of mediocre people doing important things at the club. So that's part of it. And it just seems like all the critical, like I was talking about this last night with Sean Fab and Paolo on the Prendercast episode that we filmed, and it's like you look at some, you know, success is sometimes made by like one or two or three key decisions that sprinkle into better outcomes. And it just seems like at Carlton, we seem to just keep getting these key important decisions wrong rather than right. And maybe all it takes is one correct one. And maybe the correct one was getting a football focused CEO. And, you know, unfortunately, we're going to have to wait to see how that one plays out and give him a couple of years. And, you know, it's just like a revolving cycle and a chicken and the egg. Like, you can't wait, but you have to wait. But you make change and you got to let change come through. And then it's like, oh, but we've been waiting for 30 years. And it's just, it never ends, bro.
It never ends. I mean, it's just a part of being. I think it's a tough one. Like, it's almost like I think of it like the you've heard it by the Pareto principle or the 80-20 rule, where it's like, you know, 20% of your 20% of the things changed can fix 80% of your problems. And like maybe, you know, small changes can change a hell of a lot. You know, I think like there is a lot of issues. There's no hiding from that, and we've known them, but I've known them my whole life, like we all have. But you know, I think, you know, it's tough. It's tough now, and like I always hate myself saying it, but you know, small changes can make massive differences. And you know, I don't know what those changes are. I don't work at the club. I'm just, you know, like I said, idly by. But you know, if the club, you know, do get those, you know, just a couple, you know, those positions right, you know, a lot can change pretty quickly.
Yeah, no doubt. My overall simple answer is it's about the philosophy of the place. I think that's where a lot of it starts from. And if everyone was on the same page about the philosophy and everyone was rowing in the same direction as that one philosophy, then I think a lot of things would fall into place. But I just think there's so many different interests and there's so many different things that make up the identity of the club now and what it used to be and what it should be. And everyone's got an opinion on what it used to be and what it should be and what it is. And, you know,
I think, you know, there's people above it that we don't even know, or maybe, you know, I don't know, like they control it, and, you know, we don't have a say in those things. But, you know, we can't control that, unfortunately. We have to kind of, unless we, you know, go to Icon Park and, you know, ask for resignations, which, you know, I don't even know if that'll help. But, you know, we just have to find our way, find the calm way of fixing it. And, you know, the club is never going to be perfect, unfortunately. And I don't think, you know, we'll ever get a scenario where everyone's rowing in the same direction. Like, people are people. And, you know, some people just, you know, some people want to row in a different direction. You know, you get rid of those people over time. But the club's, I don't think, ever going to be in a perfect scenario like that. And I don't think they were in the 70s or 80s either.
No, they weren't. They were,
So
and maybe winning papered over the cracks.
it did. Like I remember, like people don't talk about it, but I remember in the 80s, there was a massive board fight early 80s in the middle of Carlton winning three out of 4 years or whatever. George Harris got kicked out. That was the thing that Carlton dealt with, but we won, so no one really cared. But and now because we're losing all the time, these things come up, and those probably those same forces were still there back then.
Yeah.
Maybe they're amplified now, but they're still there, and there's people there were poor coaches at the time, and they got moved on. I think maybe the only difference is probably just the way Carlton probably were a bit more brutal back then with how they dealt with people, not the higher up people, more like the coaches and players as that. But I don't think you can be like that anymore. It's 2025. But we've got to find, like I think you say, a lot of people say, we've got to find our identity, and I think hiding from what we call old Carlton, I think I guess is kind of right. We can't be that club anymore, but we have to be, we have to still be Carlton in a way, and we have
What
to
is
find
Carlton?
that. That's a good question. I always thought Carlton, in my head, when I was taught when I was young, was when Carlton were great is it didn't matter who you were, where you came from, what you did. If you were the best, you came to Carlton. That was what I was taught Carlton was. And I think, I think you can still be that. You can still demand, we want to be the best in this league, the best we can. Like we can't get everyone we want. We couldn't get everyone we want back then. We had the players that we could get, and we made the best out of them. And we got the best coaches that we could get at the time. But, so we didn't get John Kennedy or any other, other great coaches, but we got the coaches we did have one because we had that, standard. And it's like, also people like saying, oh, we need like the big name or whatever. I don't necessarily think we do either. Like, it's like I think whoever is the best big name or not is what Carlton should get and what Carlton should aim for. Whether you get that or not, you won't. Like, who knows? Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Food for thought. I like it.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, mate. Have a good
Thank
rest
you,
of
mate.
your day. See you later, chat.
You too. See you later. The Duke Leverage Show. You can't force people to give a shit or do their job. That's true. Yeah. Aiden.
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Yourself?
Yeah. Yeah. Just. How do people watch this?
I don't know. Therapy.
You know what I mean? Like, doesn't it get it is repetitive and it gets repetitive?
No, therapy.
Yeah, but there, we keep not finding any solutions. So, how is it therapy?
I don't know. I think you said it before. That's where it gets repetitive.
Yeah. Yeah. How are you at the moment? What are you thinking at the moment? Actually, what is Carlton to you? You don't come from the school of flags.
Nah.
And those of you watching, can you please summarize so I can bring it up on screen? What is Carlton? Aiden, what's
Well,
Carlton?
from my
What's the
knowledge,
definition?
from what my family tell me, like my dad and all that, they said that we're really arrogant in a good way. And that started from the president. I forgot his name. John Elliott, I think.
Yeah.
And he said it started from him and it swept down to the players. And we had an arrogant coach. I forgot his name. I don't even know who he is back then. And that swept onto the fans as well. And we just won a flag and made finals every year. And someone said it on the fan cams that it's like that they're trying to figure out a new identity. Like they've stopped that arrogance. But we are an arrogant club, but in a really bad way. Like apparently, the club didn't allow like the players to front the media after the game. I heard that on a different
this
podcast.
week,
Yeah, last week, like after the game.
like in the rooms.
Yeah, and I have no idea why, but yeah, it's like that they're trying to like find this club a new identity. Like that's why you got Cook saying what he said. I can't really remember what he said, but he said something about how the fans can be overreactive or something like that. And yeah, I just feel like whatever identity the club has now, it's not working. And yeah,
Well, this is the interesting part, right? Our parents and uncles and aunties and grandparents were born into it all being successful. So they just thought that that's what it meant. Like, oh yeah, we are Carlton, we win. Whereas we are born in the era of learning how to win, which is excruciating. Like the actual essence of learning how to win in anything is excruciatingly painful. And so that identity of what people before us, oh, we just knew it just was like, we just won like that. That's just who we are. But that's also not who we were, because that came from a generation prior to that. Well, a whole history of a club that worked to it. But now there's 18 teams.
yeah,
Like it's a different
Yeah.
world, it's a different setup now. And you
Yeah.
can't just, I think we've always been one of the more wealthier clubs. Correct me if I'm wrong. So you used to
I
be
don't
able
know.
to pay your way.
I don't know, but apparently we were in debt once. I think we got over that in 2020 or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, we just got out of debt around about then. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and apparently we're the most wealthiest club in the land, which is really good. That's good, but yeah, we're not really wealthy when it comes to on field. If that makes sense, the way that we play.
Spiritually bankrupt. Might put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah. I was at the game, and I'm not even kidding. I didn't even pay attention. I was on my phone.
Really?
I'm not even kidding. Like I was on my phone. I did watch it, but like I literally lost interest. Like I was like, why am I? What's the point of coming here every week? Like they do the same thing every week, and they're starting to lose people. Like as much as I say, I don't really care, which you don't believe, but no, I do care. Like that's why like I come on, but like when it comes to like passion and all that, it's like an all-time low. Like what's the point of screaming, yelling and shouting when they don't give it back? Like apparently like when we have the members that we have 100,000 of them and they post it as if like we're just customers. That's why you got the viewing sessions every week. They don't care, and I don't think the players care enough as well. Like as cliche as that sounds, like what I saw on Saturday, like you can just tell that they don't care.
Yeah.
Like they can't even hit, like they couldn't even hit a 15-meter hand pass.
Do you know what it's like? Do you know what it reminded me of today? So like, stick with us, stick fat. It's like I've used the analogy of when you're at school and like you've got an assignment or like you've got like an exam coming up. Let's just use the analogy of the Blues had an assignment due, and the assignment was 14 wins. We'll call it. How many wins get you into final? Is it 13 or 14?
I don't know. Apparently, it's like 15 now.
Whatever.
14,
X
15,
amount of wins. What X amount of wins is the assignment, and they kept asking for an extension of time. Like, oh, this happened, we need a little bit more time, and like time's running out. You need to win 9 games to get to 14 wins now, or 8 games. You need 8 more games to get to 14 wins. We're on 6. And it's like there's no more extensions left, mate. Or like, when you see people play poker and they have like those chips, like time chips, and they throw it and they get like an extra 30 seconds, whatever. It's like, there's no more time. You can't keep asking for time and buy in and stick fat. Like, you can't do that. You need to start doing the thing.
Yeah, because I was actually really surprised at the amount of people that were there.
Yeah.
Like, they'd said 59,000. I swear there was like 65 something. Like, Cripps saying, "Oh, you need to, like, just stick fat and all that." Slowly, like, they're gonna lose supporters. Like, there's gonna, like, I'm telling you now, if I don't think we will win our next three, but the next Sunday, Saturday afternoon game, or even the game against Melbourne, they're gonna be lucky to even have 40,000 people there.
I agree.
And then that's when the membership numbers will drop off next year. Like, how many more times do you want to keep saying stick fat? Like, show us why to keep faith and keep believing, because they're not showing me anything, and they're not showing anyone as well. But that interview, that actually reminded me in 2021 when everyone used to get like humiliated. I remember Doherty or Cripps used to come out Monday morning and talk to the media. And I'm pretty sure it was actually against North Melbourne back then as well. I can't remember, where we got embarrassed like Saturday and they came out 2021 in front of the media. And I was just thinking that this season is the exact same as 2021. The exact same. Different players, different coaches, but the way that it's happened, it's aligned perfectly with how that year went. And inevitably, we're going to see another coach go, which at this point, I think that's probably the best case scenario, to be honest with you. Because
Yeah.
I don't think if you keep him on next year, like, you're going to change the coaches, but ultimately he makes the decisions. He creates the game plan, and I don't know if we'll see any changes at all next year.
So I want to play
how we
you.
play.
Yeah. So like, obviously we heard Cripps speak today, and we've heard the club speak at certain points. I want to play you a clip. This was Tom Green after the Giants lost. I believe this might have been when they lost the final to the Lions. This is what the address on the Giants side of things were. And again, you can't compare everything, but I think you can learn about what looks good and sounds better than what you currently hear.
Giants Army, thank you very much for the season that was. From our perspective, we're really sorry in that I suppose we didn't repay the faith that you guys showed in us all year coming out, your loud support. We really appreciate it. It's going to hurt. I know it hurts you guys. It hurts us too. And we'll do better for you next year. But thank you again, and your support means the world to us.
You know, yeah, like that comes through the club as well. Like, you can clearly tell, like, from what he said back then. I didn't watch, I just saw this now. Like, that's fantastic. That's brilliant. That's communication to the members and supporters. See, that's clearly spoken through at the club. See, last year when we got embarrassed, did we get anything like that? Because I think I remember Wiedering mentioning something, and then they just spoke about something different. They started smiling and laughing about it. Like, that's standards right there. And you can see, like, how far off we are from GWS and any other team in the top 8 right now.
Yeah, I just think that they're on the pulse a bit. Like that to me was on the pulse with, you can just make it all about the fans in one video.
Yeah, you can have. Like, when was the last time that they actually recognised the fans and they apologised for something?
But
I can't remember. I can't remember.
It starts. Well, no, I don't remember that either. But it does start with. It does start the cycle of the next rabbit hole of, but the fans, like, we haven't been great all the time, and there's like a certain subsection of us, and I've seen it. I was actually replying to comments today. Someone was talking about, but you fans, you spit on your players. It's like, no, we don't spit on our players. 11 people have spat on players. Like, it's not the 100,000 members. I'm like, are we emotional? Yes, we are emotional. Man, I've been doing fan cams for 5 years. It's getting better. We have improved the way we communicate post game when we are at our most emotional.
And I wasn't really. I found it in 2021, and I go through some of the videos, like old videos back then, and the way that I compare your fan cams to then from now, it's drastically improved. Like, people, I'm pretty sure like people are like more level-headed now, which is really good. But yeah, I feel like they don't recognize the fans as much. Like Cripps said that he doesn't want to divide the fan base, but I feel like there is a divide between the club and the fans. Like if the club was actually pretty serious, then someone from the club would actually click on that link and come in and talk.
I will
Like,
send that link every Monday for the rest of the season.
because I
No
guarantee you now,
expectation at all. Just I'll send it and I'll invite, and anybody can click it.
but do you reckon they will? I don't. I hope
I've
they
got
do.
nine. I've got 9 more messages to send, and we'll see.
Because like I'm pretty sure Swoop Luke, he talks to people from the club, like they come on his channel and all that. I saw something once, like you see people.
So the president actually reached out to Swoop on his own accord and invited him in for a chat, like, which I think is super powerful. It is what it is.
Yeah,
You
see
know?
that the difference in standards from us to them, and that's why they're where they are at the moment, and that's why we're here at the moment because they care about their fan base, and like our club doesn't. What do we get? We get viewing sessions, like viewing. Like, are they serious? Like, are we just viewers or like because some people pay nearly
Well,
two
to be
thousand
fair,
dollars?
I actually don't mind the viewing sessions because at
No,
least they've opened up
I like
the
the
club a
viewing
bit.
sessions, but it's just the name. Like, why would you call it viewing sessions? Like viewing, like that's like do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like
I get what you're trying to say. I mean,
yeah,
I
the
get what you're saying, but I think you got to also remember the viewing sessions. It's just open training. It's the same thing, and that's
yeah,
something we also were screaming out for. So, like, to be fair,
yeah, which is good, which is
like
really
they
good.
did open up
Mm,
some training sessions, and they're
yeah,
actually great. And I go to them, and they feel good every time I go. I feel better for
yeah.
going, even though things are terrible. Like I went after the Collingwood game, like, early in the year.
Mm. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, I went once, and I never have been ever again. Because what's the point of me making my time to go up there when they can't even bother to show up for 2 hours? But yeah, I don't know where we go from here. Really, I just think it gets worse. Because I said to you on
yeah,
Saturday, can it get worse? And you said more than likely. And I don't want to think too far ahead, but we got
yeah.
two big teams: Collingwood, Brisbane, after Port, and five. If I can just see that getting bad, really.
I can see us winning.
Can you really against
I can
Collingwood
see it.
and Brisbane?
Oh, against Collingwood? Oh,
And Brisbane?
no. No, 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 no.
Yeah, no,
Cannot see
that's
that.
what I was
Oh, I
saying.
thought we were
That's what I
talking
was
about
saying.
Port.
Oh, yeah, against Port, I don't know. I don't care. But yeah, I don't know.
I could
Looks like
see both realities very clearly on Thursday. I do really not see us having what
no,
it takes
no
to beat
way.
Collingwood or Brisbane. I mean, we just lost to North, bro. Like, so
Yeah, I know. Like if we beat Port, they're gonna. You already know they're gonna make a big song and dance about it. Then they'll be like, "Oh, we're back with this." Then next week, I'm not
you
talking about the
think?
fan base. No, I feel like they will because they've copped a lot of shit this week, and you just already know that they're probably going to make a big song and dance about it. Then they're going to be like, "Oh, like we know what we're going to do now." They're going to play a different style of play Thursday. I guarantee it. They're going to play something more modern that's consistent. And then once we win, hopefully, I'm not going to be convinced of it. I don't think anyone will, because the next two teams after it are they're going to
Best in the
fucking
league.
they're going to. We're gonna get fucking killed when we play against them. Far out. We're gonna get killed.
Uh,
I actually might stay against Collingwood for the whole game and just sit there and just watch a spanking and just because my dad normally says to me when it gets bad, "Do you want to leave?" I'll just say, "Nah, let's just stay.
hey,
Watch
man,
this humiliation."
I'm not ruling out anything, including, Ben, exactly. 0-9, genuine possibility.
If it does get to that, do you like if we lose our next 6 or 5 in a row? Is that when you probably go, "Yeah, you probably have to go."
As opposed to now.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know, dude, either. I don't know a lot about anything. I know nothing.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, what am I? Like, who am I? Like, I'm just a supporter that just pays money the membership and watches. But then again, like, you've got a lot of supporters who have been speaking more sense than some of the players and the coaches. Like,
Mm,
leading
mm.
today, he mentioned, "Oh, we need to question the mental toughness." Didn't he say that like after Collingwood? And how did that
Yeah.
go?
Well, whatever
Meanwhile,
conversations were allegedly happening just weren't hitting the mark, clearly.
yeah, it did not work at all. And you questioned it, and a lot of people questioned it last year and the year before that. So
Yeah, we
I
got
don't
in
know
trouble
why
for
they.
that.
Huh?
Yeah,
What was that?
people got in trouble for that.
Yeah, well,
But it was the truth. It was the
yeah. I
truth.
mean, I mean, guess who? I mean, look who ended up being right. It was everyone that questioned it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Really, like, I care, but I don't care. But yeah, it's their problem. Anyway, what do you think? Like, what's going to happen? Like, where's who from here? Really?
I'm gonna go get a good sleep tonight. I'm gonna wake up in the morning with a fresh canvas. I'm gonna do the preview, footy abroad tomorrow, and just get on with it. And then, honestly, in my head, my whole process in my head is just get through to October. Just get us through. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like whatever, like could be like 0 wins, could be 2, 3, whatever it's going to be. Just get us all through, get myself through to October, and like just hopefully, I don't know if you listen to the Prendercast, but we're talking about it, like hopefully they use this time carefully, properly to make the right key decisions, to make sure that we're not in round 15 talking about the season being over. Can you believe it's round 15 and we're talking about the season being over? Like, can you believe that?
I mean,
Like,
to
fair
me,
enough. Like, the season ends in round 21, 22, you know, like at least it looks close.
I mean, to me,
Like,
the season ended at round 1,
yeah, sure. Yeah.
and yeah, I mean, what are you like? What are you expecting now from the end of the season? Is it just
Fight.
play,
No,
fight?
fight.
Yeah,
Like, pride. Like, actual fight for it. Like, okay, don't make finals. That's fine. But don't do it giving up. Don't let 19 straight goals happen like that did in 2021 and like just completely like have some fucking pride for what you have on your
yeah,
body. You know, like that's what
yeah.
that's my expectation.
And if they don't,
Well, then fuck off.
fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
Like,
now
get
you
the
wonder
fuck out
why
of
I.
here. Get out of here. And if you want to play this sport for money and to support your family, that is fine. Just go and do it somewhere else.
Yeah, and I feel
Not
to
here.
add to that, I feel like players in that club, you can tell that they probably have different motivations towards others. Like maybe some of them value money than success. I mean, I'm just assuming. I could be wrong, but now you wonder why. I think I mentioned in preseason, I wish the preseason lasted longer, and thankfully, it's going to last longer come season ends.
Yeah. I mean,
But
look, I'm sure you will buy into something if you see them play with spirit, like the real thing.
yeah, I mean,
I'm
yeah,
sure.
just play. Yeah, just look, just play better brand of footy. Like I don't care. Like if we lose the next 9 in a row, as long as we like give it our
Well,
best and play a good brand of footy. I mean, like I will care. Like don't get me wrong, but I like I would care, but like just go out there, like try your best, play a good brand of footy, and if you show me that, then obviously that's when like I won't fully jump on back, but like that's when like I'll get what do you call it? Like they'll show me something at least. Like I just want them to play a good brand of footy for the next 9 weeks. Like we probably won't make finals, but at least just go out there fighting and see what you can do. Because
yeah.
mathematically, like the season isn't done, but like in my eyes, and I'm sure other people's eyes, it is. But just use the next 9 weeks, play different brand of footy, and if you can't make finals, and if you finish in a position which is 9th or 10th, then try and grab some momentum into for next year. Even though next year is 9 months away or 10 months away after the season ends. Just
Yeah.
show supporters something.
Yeah.
But we'll find out a lot about them in literally the next 2 weeks after Port. I'm not kidding.
We'll find out about a lot of. We've already found out quite a lot about them, and we're going to continue to find out even more about that. I think we're about to find out who's along for the ride in the future. That's what we're about to find out.
Yeah, because I'm convinced that I don't know what's going to happen with TDK. I feel like he probably will leave, but I feel like there'll probably be another.
Do you think they're going to get to a point now where it's like, listen, mate, I need to know. Like,
I was saying this to my dad. I literally said to him, I'm like to him, there needs to be a point now where they tell him the next 2-3 weeks, Tom, what are you gonna do, man? Like, are you staying or are you going? Like, because we can't fuck around anymore with you anymore. Like this has been going on for what, 9 months now, and every week it's like I keep just seeing every article about him at some point during the week. Like, just say what you're gonna do. Like, you don't have to like tell the media or the supporters, but just say, "Oh, I'm staying or I'm leaving," and then keep it towards the club, and then that's it. But then again, if they do tell him that in season, then it'll probably get worse, or it'll probably get better. Because you mentioned something to me, I think 3 weeks ago, that if Tom actually told the club that he was leaving, would you drop him or would you keep playing him? I think that if he did come out and like say to the club that, oh, I'm not going to stay, and if there was a few games to go, I'm pretty sure it will probably get worse, because I feel like a part of our derail is because of that distraction that has happened, and it's not his fault, but yeah, like he needs to say something sooner. Like, come on, like, what's he waiting? Like, I don't get what's he waiting for. Like, is he?
no, look, it's a life-changing decision, and it's so important, and it is all of these things. These things are all true, but I think I mean, I would say by around 18, like you just kind of want to know either way, just to give clarity. And I think that's what we're also tied up with as well. There's a lot of uncertainty going on. You don't know who the CEO is going to be next year. So like he's got his own thoughts. Like, he's currently just got his eyes on everything, looking to see what's going to change. So change is coming. But again, like they put themselves in this position. So yeah, we had a change up at the board level, start of the year. And Tom's just another one of these big pieces, because if he stays, we've got to figure out what's going on, draft points, etc., draft picks, what we're going to get. And if he goes, then we've got to figure out, okay, which players are we targeting? Like, there's a strategy for both realities. So it's just,
yeah, like I feel like I understand it's a big decision, it's life changing, but like he needs to say something sooner rather than later, because you can't just keep like waiting, change your mind every 5 minutes. Like he needs to say something, because if he stays, beautiful, but then again, that's the question. We don't have a first round pick, so if he stays, then where do we get that first round pick from? Because apparently Harry Dean's in the draft this year, and he's going for a first round pick, and apparently Harry might be going to Sydney, apparently, and Walsh is up in the air with that. But I don't know. Like, if he stays, beautiful. If he leaves, then oh well, you move on.
fair.
Go to St Kilda. I don't care. You play in front of fucking one person a week. But I do feel like there will be another big player that will go, honestly. And
Maybe.
I feel like I love Harry. I don't hate him. I actually really like him. But I feel like it'd be probably best if he went interstate, because, yeah, I just feel like the way that the media's killed him.
Did you see the Harry Mackay for Ollie Florent by Jay Clark?
Yeah, that was disgusting.
He's going in. He's close to going in the black book for me. I've got a black book of journos.
Yeah.
And the way he's, you know what pissed me off about him post game on Saturday? His like posture when he was asking the questions about Carlton. Like, there was a bit of venom in the way he asked the question, and then Kath had to like basically say, well, "What do you think, Jay?" Like, because he was just so passionate about how bad the Blues were.
Even apparently a few commentators on Saturday, apparently Jonathan Brown and some other clown was cheering on North Melbourne to kick more goals or something like that. Or I don't know, but
yeah, probably.
like in my personal opinion, I feel like Harry should go into state. It'd be better for him. And if we were to get something out of him, it'd probably be a first round pick or a player and a first round pick. But again, I don't know. Like, I value Harry as one of the best forwards in the competition on his day. And in return, I'd like a really good player, because I don't feel like if we lose Harry or TDK that we just go full-blown rebuild mode. Like, you can get something really good out of them.
Yeah.
And that's either a player, or you can split the pick, or you can swap the pick for a player. Like, just because them two could leave, like, it doesn't mean that we're going to go shit again. Like,
Yeah,
if anything, as
well.
you said before, like, it can just be a couple of decisions that could be the best thing for the club. But who am I? I don't know. Like, it's up to them. Do I trust them to make the right decision? No, but
Nope.
yeah,
I've got zero faith in the decision makers, which I think is a conversation for end of season, because if the members don't believe in the decision makers in the club, then why are they there? But that's another can of worms, which we'll get to.
Yeah,
Aiden,
but
it's been a pleasure.
you too. Thanks for having me.
See you, man. Well, I really had no intentions of going for an hour. You guys really carried the show. Thank you. Sayaf, $31. We need Graham Wright bobblehead. Duke Leverage.
How are you, man?
I'm fucked, mate. I'm cooked. I'm actually cooked.
Look, man.
Honestly, like I had a few dot points. I wanted to play the Crips video. I had like a few things that I wanted to say, and then I was like, I don't really expect anyone to come onto the show, but like if they do, great. I'm always down to listen to people talk. I am fucking. I mean, I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be sweet. I just need to sleep again. I just.
I need to sleep. Man, you know, first I just want to say, dude, I love you, man. Like, I don't know how you've got the energy to keep doing this in the face of crap every single week. I've been saying it all year that, not re-upping until they give a shit, not going to games. And I've gone to, true to my word, man, I've gone to like 2 games this year that I'd already prepaid tickets for. And that's it, right? I've been switching games off at 3/4 time for like, just because I can't be bothered. But I feel so bad for you and the rest of the guys on the channel, because you front up every single week and put in so much effort. And I know, like, in case you haven't figured it out, everyone fucking loves you for it, man. Everyone appreciates you, you and the rest of the team for it.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I had to say it, right? Just because it's been a while since I've come on. Secondly, I feel bad because we were talking about catching up for a drink and having a cigar like 4 months ago. And I thought about calling you, and I'm like, what for? We're going to be miserable. We're going to sit there and just be like, why? What are we doing? Like, we should be like doing, ritualistic suicide, not having a drink and having a cigar. Like, this is a joke. Man, I just want to say one thing.
We are supposed to be celebrating, that's for sure.
Yeah. I honestly just want to say one quick thing, man, and I'll let you sort of go. Okay. Everyone's sort of putting the blowtorch on Voss, and the rot starts at the top and blah, blah, blah. And we're all sort of banking on getting, the right CEO, the right president, the right this, the right that, the right coaching staff, blah, 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 blah. I really hate it that we sort of keep looking up the ladder of, the chain of command to see who we can blame and who needs to go and this and that. And whether Voss is the right man for the job, God knows. I mean, you look at the Dimmer experiment, and he was there for years, and they stuck fat with him, and then he got him a bunch of flags in a row. Do you know what I mean? And he's revered now in coaching history. I'm not saying that Voss is the equivalent of Dimmer. I'm just making a point, right? But this is what I have to say. From everything you've seen, and it started last year, it started, and there were people that are guilty of this from before that, but predominantly last year into this year, these players do not care. It's the same people, it's the same comments that everyone's always making every week. about who needs to get dropped, and and we're blaming Motlop, or we're blaming this or blaming that, and why aren't they doing this, and why are they clearly favourites in the lineup, and so forth, and so be it. Cool. Yep, I totally agree with most of the time. But I said this in one of the group chats today, right, when we're talking about forward lines or something, or kicking goals, and I'm like, oh, Charlie should have had a better game. I'm like, listen, when you've got a forward line that is made up of common medalists, goals are expected. Like, they're expected. It's just like, mate, you can kick a bag. We know you can kick a bag. We're paying you to kick a bag. You get the liberty of riding to the park in your flip-flops, and taking the piss by yourself, because you can kick a bag, but you're not even, there's no second effort, there's no nothing, there's no intent. And I've said this over and over again, man. You look at the list, look at the replays, look at the body language, look at all that. Half these players do not care. Cripps has carried this club for a decade on his shoulders, and he's willingly dragged them over the line on his own time and time again. And there's a handful of players that will put their bodies on the line every single time and make a full-throated effort to have a go. You might not have a rat's ass chance to win a game, man, but you get in there, and if you've played organised sport, man, and I'm not saying you have to be professional or even semi-professional, the one thing they teach you from the day you start playing as a team with other kids on a field or a court or whatever it is you give 100% every time. You don't make excuses for losses. You shake your opponent's hand, you get around your teammates, all these standard canons. Dude, these players do not care. They do not give a shit. For some reason, they're coddled, they think they're elite, and they're not, and they're getting found out, and that is the whole point. That is the entire point, that they're finally getting found out, and no one's got any pride. Like, we're sitting there begging them to care about pulling on a jumper that means the world to 100,000 fans out there, and we're talking generational. Yeah, we're not talking about this crop, we're talking about the mob that'll come after them and the people that came before them. Yeah, they do not care. 100,000 supporters have turned up in droves every single week, and we have got more camaraderie than any of these clowns on the field do. And that's the bottom line, man. And I refuse to beg people to do their job. Their job is to turn up and give it 100%. You see players like JSOS, man, people were screaming for his head 2-3 years ago, screaming for his head when he wasn't injured, but, just generally struggling. And I have to remind people, man, he's playing in the ruck. He's playing in any position they're slotting him in. And I used to make the joke of, JSOS has his father to answer to. So imagine putting in a half-assed attempt and having to come home and deal with Steven Silvani, right? Just watching you from the stands. Right? I used to laugh about it, but that kid will make an honest attempt anywhere you slot him. You put him in the ruck, put him in the forward line, put him in the back line, does not matter. And that's the point. If you had 100 JSOSs to fill in every position, that they're all going to turn up, and they could get spanked on the day, but you can't blame them on effort, man, and having an actual crack. But when you've got sulkers and whingers and whiners and milksops, I'm sick and tired of everyone looking beyond the playing group and, it has to be a management position thing. It has to be a coaching position. Nah. At what point is the onus on the players just on any given day when you know that you've got, the sun will shine on a dog's ass? You have every chance to make a difference, and you're not chasing the player down. You've got 2 tackles for the day. Find your strength, utilize it, do something, man. Make an impact, whatever it is. You know what I mean? And I'm sorry, and I'm going in a long-winded rant, man, but I'm just over it. I'm so over it.
Please keep going. This is fantastic.
I'm so fucking over it, man. When you're watching games and it's like, dude, do something to impact the game, man. I'm not saying run off your mark and go kamikaze, but have a crack. And McGovern was getting amped up, in the last minutes of this weekend's game. And you see him trying to rev up and all that. And I could feel it. I could feel what he was feeling, because he's like, man, I've just kicked a bunch in a row. We can do this. He honestly had some belief in his head at that point. Ride the insanity, man. Fire into it. We did it in 23. In 23, we got to where we got purely on fucking just momentum and heart and just riding the wave. You know what I mean? Purely. We were on last legs. Half the time we were looking for players, barely bringing up a full squad and all that sort of stuff. But for some reason, in 25, Nah, let's take out Boss. Let's take out everyone that stands around him. The players are untouchable. Nah, I'm over it, man. I'm just over it. And it's disgusting. You can't.
So just on that, that's where, and I don't know the answer to who's the coach for the team. I don't know. I'm pretty team Voss for the most part, but now it's like, oh, not sure, right? My whole thing around if you're going to get rid of him is that yet again, the players get the out. And yet again, they know that no matter what, when push comes to shove, no matter how bad it gets, it'll never be on them and they'll never have to pay the price because they'll always have the coach getting sacked. And that's the only thing why this time I'm like, maybe some of the group need to go first and fix the coaching panel. But I'm also not sure. Like, I'm also not in full belief of what they're being coached
You're
to do as
100%
well.
right, man.
You know?
The players will duck yet again responsibility for another one because the bloke in HR got the sack before they got the sack. You know what I mean? It's literally that. Like, you sit around and wait, and it's like, well, who's going to get the ass first, me or him? And sometimes you can, Greg, you've got a performance review in March. It's like, cool. And then the guy that said that to you, someone comes in and says, yeah, Larry, I got the ass. And then you're thinking, mad, I don't have that performance review then in March, do I? Because they're still looking for someone to take over Larry's job. That's the whole point, man. That's what these idiots are doing. And that's the thing, right? Like, I made this point the other day, and I was going to say to you, like, if we manage to do a pod about this, right? It's like, I'm sick of paying a membership to clowns that turn up and don't even have a crack at doing their job. I'm not asking, man, I don't care if we don't win a flag for the next 2 years, but you expect a win-loss ratio that has some semblance of respect, or you expect these players to carry themselves with, like, dignity, regard for their teammates, and a bit of self-respect on the field, man. Hold your head up high. None of these idiots, bar a few that you could probably name just by doing your review, like over the last, say, 4 months, they can't hold their head up and say they had an honest crack. It's like, dude, if you've got no touches for the game, have 10 tackles. Do something, man. Find a way to impact. Don't tell me that the ball didn't come near me. I wasn't involved in any of the plays. Piss off, man. You can, like I said, you can say it any day of the week, but some good players will find a way to inject themselves into a game, and they'll find a way to win, man. To start, with the direct opponent that they're manning up on, and then just work down the chain and say, cool, I figured out how to take out this clown. Let me go to the next step. Let me go to the next step. Eventually, you figured out what all your weak links are, and you're playing as a team. And any united team is going to beat a team of gun players with 2-3 guns and a bunch of discombobulated lambs just floating around like a sea of people. Do you know what I mean? Any united team is always going to come out on top because, unity is it just turns up when it's PvP. Like, it's just, I can't do it, man. I can't give them any more money and accept that this is as good as they're going to get. When you see it, they've got their glimpses of brilliance, but the rest of the time they've got their hands in their pants just playing pocket billiards, man, in the back lot, just waiting for the siren to go so they can go home.
That's why the fourth quarter against the Roos, was it you that said, like, it was insulting?
Yeah, it's insulting, man. I didn't wait for the siren, man. I turned it off in the last 30, 40 seconds. I'm like, nah, I don't even want to see it. It's like, dude, you just kicked fight. I only realized that they'd kept North goalless or scoreless in the last quarter until the next day when I was reading reviews. I'm like, you idiots. You kicked 5-5. You kicked it in one quarter and they didn't touch the ball. How did you manage that? When you're meant to be depleted and down and out, you know what I mean, and you're tired, you managed to turn up the heat and kick 5-5. They insult my intelligence. Pack of pretenders, man. Pretenders. Sorry, man. I had to get that off my chest.
No, you've literally just single-handedly just given me life again. Oh man, you literally brought me back from the dead. Oh, that is the Carlton spirit right there. Whatever that was, whatever you just did, that is what we're missing.
Dude, I seriously start like I got a bit annoyed, not annoyed, but you sort of triggered me the other day when you did the solo. When was it? Was it post match? Before North, it was before the North game when you in the lead up and you said something like you were sick of the negativity. You know, you just wanted to you didn't want to like hammer like the players. You just wanted the positivity back. You were done with the negativity. And I just started, and you started, but the thing that got me, the thing that triggered me was that you started talking about what the club means to us and how we got involved in it, and how we became fans and the nostalgia and the history and the legacy and all that. And we're better than this, and we need to be positive in that. And I started thinking about it, dude. And I'm like, you know what? Okay, there are families out there with generational fans. Like my grandfather, my great grandfather got me into the games. I went to games with my uncle, whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? These players, don't know that heritage. Some of them don't know it, don't care about it. Most of them don't care about it. There's no respect for it at all. And I was just thinking about it, man. Like, why are we doing this again? Like, it's a mortal sin to change footy teams. You know what I mean? Once you're established into a team, but at the same time, they only exist because we care. Not because the players exist. Anyone could fill those slots. That lineup can get anyone could pull a jumper on, man. Anyone. Right?
I'll tell you.
But this team only exists because of the people behind it that turn up every week.
So I'll tell you, right? So the whole purpose behind that whole spiel last week was so we didn't get to Cripps in front of Icon Park today saying stick fat. Because in my mind, I'm like, you know what? One last push here. Let's go. They could make it 7-7. Maybe we're just missing. Maybe they've won 2 in a row, and this third one in a row will when you try and spark a fire. Like maybe this one will be the one. And that was honestly like they say before someone dies, they have like one last gasp of life before they actually like cark it. And that was honestly mine. I was like, okay, one more, like one more, just push, and then they fucking were down by 46 to North Melbourne.
You got to understand something, man. And I know it's hard to understand, and you don't want to hear it. You're gonna have a hard time hearing it, but there is nothing we can do beyond turning up and just putting our voices out. We cannot will this team into a position where they actually care about the jumper as much as the fans do. The players, unless you got born and breds, man, like Sauce, you know what I mean? Like Sardi, who grew up next to an AFL player tied with the club, like all that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? You can't physically get them to care as much as the fans do. There's nothing we can sit here and overanalyze it and go into the deep recesses of our brains and try and figure out at what point did such and such as, balls drop that it impacted the forward wind of the back pocket. It's like, dude, nothing we do is ever going to change that, man, until these people get on the same fucking page as the fans and everyone that has made the club what it is. This club is bigger than the pack that run around out there every week. And until these players understand that they're expendable cannon fodder in the when it comes down to it, mate, you're not going to get a change, dude. And that's what annoyed me, man. Like, I was just thinking about it. I'm like, I've gone to work. I've gone to work, left work, run to the MCG or Marvel to catch 2 quarters of footy, sit down with my regular mates or whatever, watch 2 quarters of footy, then leave again because I've got a job to do or something like that. Or I'm sitting there on my phone, still working, but actively trying to watch this game, pay for a beer and a pie, whatever it is to support, pay my membership, paid extra to get to a game, like a St Kilda Carlton game. Like now we're paying extra to get to a Carlton St Kilda game on a Friday night. Why? Because they figured they could squeeze more money out of us. Like, cool. And I'm not doing it that hard, man. But there are families that like make this their one outing for months at a time, put all their eggs in one basket to get down to see this game, to have a pack of clowns turn up that don't care. They're literally, if they had pockets in their shorts, man, that have their hands in it 24/7 and just wait for the siren. If there was anywhere they could hide around the corner and have a dart while the game's going on and just, let Cripps handle it, man. It's fine. He's all right. Sauce is out there as well. Like, they'll cover it. Big deal. You know what I mean? We've got weeders there. It's fine. I'll just duck behind here and have a quick nap and then get back out there and just run around for 5 seconds, get 3 lazy touches and make it seem like my heat map's gone nuts. Dude, I can't. Sorry, man.
Well,
I know. I'm sorry.
It's so fine. I appreciate you calling in and thank you. I mean, I really do appreciate it, bro. We will be doing that podcast. I think we need to just let the season play out and then just really purge.
That if we did, I was thinking about it the other, like after you said it earlier today. I was like, I could just picture you walking in the studio. I'm already there with like a dart lit, just you know what I mean. And that's it for 10 minutes. All right,
A packet
nice
for
chat.
each
See you
of us.
later.
We can just chain for it. We can just chain darts.
Sorry, man. I know I've just monopolized it all,
No, it's
but
all
it's
good.
just I can't. It's been building up. Just watching the games, man. It's like, are you kidding? Are you kidding? Charlie's like throwing his arms up. He's just sitting there listful, man. Just listful. It's like, dude, go. Join, go with TDK. Make it a two-for. You know what I mean? Bundle it up. Get whatever we can from and fuck off. Like, we need players that actually give a shit about the club they represent, about actually putting in an effort. Because until they feel that fear of God, nothing will change, man. Nothing.
Yeah.
You can sack every coach under the sun. You could bring in anyone. You know what I mean? You could bring anyone in and it wouldn't make a difference because they just keep dealing with the same clowns for marketability. You know what I mean? They found marketable players that are, marketable, have their podcasts and have their freaking commercials and all that sort of stuff just to keep making the club richer. That's like, dude, eventually memberships will dry up. No one's going to go to games if not even put in an effort. It was one thing to stop the wins and now the effort's stopped completely. Who's going to turn up? I'm not. I can guarantee you I'm not going to turn up. I'll go to a game and sit in the rain, man, if I watch 4 quarters of footy. You know?
Yeah. Mate, you're a legend. Thanks for calling in.
Sorry, man. Thanks a lot, dude.
Love ya.
Love you, bro.
Everyone get around the Duke Leverage show. That was great. Oh, that was like therapy to me. I needed to be carried, and I was carried on a journey that was amazing. The Explicit Empress with $8.88. Transformation comes from death and destruction. Something is dissolving. Find something to love while the shit burns. Weird is power. Lean in. Interesting. Petra, Spirit, 267. I'm going to stop that chant. One more. Jez, hello, mate.
Oh, how you going, Terry?
Good. Where are you at the moment?
I had a meal at a pub, so in the city.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, just what was his name? Who was on just before again? Sorry,
Dimmy. Well, the Duke Leverage show is the podcast, but his name is Dimmy.
He summed it up pretty well, didn't he? I mean, I feel sorry for families, not just myself, going and watching that sort of football. You know, so maybe saving all their money up, not going to every game, because I don't know what's wrong there. I wanted to get on. It's wasted me watching these games, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you say? I mean, if T goes or Harry goes, do we look for better options? Do we look for players that want to play for Carlton? Do we want? I mean, the coach. I mean, does that make? It's going to make a difference. I mean, watching a game from level 2, the other day. We didn't have anyone in the forward line at times. It was just like a defensive procession. I don't know. I just thought didn't even have a couple of players at times in the forward line, right? Watching the game against North, and I don't know. It was just are they trying to save the game, and they were getting thrashed. And what words have I got? I don't know anymore. It's just who knows what they turn up on Thursday night.
Who knows, mate? Who knows?
I know. I don't know. Who knows if they win, and then you wouldn't have a clue. I mean, I find being Carlton is the most frustrated, my friends, member of any club, because we never know what we're going to get. So that's all I like to say. I don't know.
I love it. Thank you, mate.
What comes next?
I appreciate that, mate. Thanks for calling in and sharing what you have to say.
Thanks.
See ya. And as the rain falls, I think that'll do us. Thanks to everybody that called in. You literally carried me. Yeah, we'll just keep going. Thursday night, Port Adelaide. Is it must win? Yeah, it's a must win. I think they're all must win, but we'll see what happens. Congratulations also to those of you who won tickets last week, and those who Fiona who won the Dirt and Guernsey. That should be with you any moment. There will be another giveaway coming next week. Oh, actually, I've forgotten. There is also another giveaway that I'm doing. So it's actually with a car hire company called Drive Melbourne, right? So you have the opportunity. This is for everyone, not just members. You have the opportunity to win a blue Mustang for a day for free. If you're interested, click that link and enter. So myself and Drive Melbourne have gotten together. He's offering a car to one of you for a day. So there you go. Enjoy that. Oh, Danny. All right, let's do it, mate. Let's make it quick. What do you got for me?
Not much, man. I just wanted to check up on you if you're doing fine and stuff.
Mate, I'm good.
How you doing?
After Dimmy came on, I'm fucking back. Let's go. Come on.
Nah, that's good, man. That's good. You know, it's a sad reality of our life as well, that we barrack for the club and then we ride the highs and lows. And you know, like when it happened at the time of the game, it was so down, and I think the changes will eventually come, Terry. The answers will come as well. Like, you know, and today, that's why I asked you the question during the rating show, that Bossy gave them a spray and that G'd them up. So was it that not put the Q in the rack, and that's why we did that? But even if they did, keeping them to 0 and then showing that we can actually rack up some goals, which pissed me off when they came back like that, and pissed all of us off, to be honest. But is it because they lack the attitude? Is that what's lacking? Because if they can show that in the last 10, 15, 20 minutes, why can't they do that in the second and third quarter? That's just the question that baffles me. Like, and that also then, as I said, Bossy is not the answer. I've always said that. But is it actually on the assistant coaches as well that have been there for so long as well, that we just I don't know, man. I'm just trying to find answers. That's all I'm trying to do.
It's time for bed.
Is it?
Let's continue this on Thursday.
Good, man. No, it's
All right.
good. But yeah, you take care of yourself, man. And we'll speak soon anyway.
You have a good one. Go Blues.
Cheers.
All right. I'm out. I'm done. I'm sizzled. Love you all. Have a good one. See you tomorrow for the preview. Go Blues.